Hey, my black pill brothers. It's been a while. People wanted me to do more coffee girl videos, for lack of a better term. And so, over the past week or so, my think tank has been sending me articles about coffee girls and this economy. I remember I told you guys maybe 4 years ago that this is coming, that the era of the coffee girls was actually going to come. Now, COVID has accelerated that. And then what's going on with the economic struggles that's going on in the world right now that's causing this, what I call stagflation, inflation and layoffs. This economic crisis is actually causing people to actually do things that they probably wouldn't have in better times. And basically the government can't take care of these people. Men they don't care about so much, but women, they have to look after. Women and children have to look after. So since they can't take care of them, there's no men to take care of them, they have to allow them to do what they got to do, which is sell their bodies. So here's an article from I think it's from the Financial Times. This is in the UK. This is not America. This is in the UK. But a lot of this stuff is pretty much standardized. They're pretty much comparable to the United States. The women turning to sex work to make ends meet. The bleak economic backdrop is driving more women into prostitution in the UK and making it more dangerous. December 9th, 2022. Tiffany smoothed her hair in the bathroom mirror and took off her wedding ring. Little knots were tightening in her stomach. The former civil servant climbed into the car next to her husband, who dropped her off near a plush hotel in Cardiff. She slipped into the hotel bar, weaving through the hum of conversation and piano music, and spotted the man she had been messaging. He too appeared nervous. Notice her husband is in on it, right? For all you guys that want to simp, got to remember, she may have the permission of her man or her husband. Okay, they might be in it together. She left the hotel later that evening feeling relieved. I felt proud that I'm able to sort us out and keep a roof over our heads. She says, I'm doing this for my family, my house, and my husband. Tiffany is one of a wave of women who, driven in part by the darkening UK economic outlook, are starting or returning to sex work this year. Finding drawn out of Financial Times interviews with 23 sex workers, as well as 14 charities and advocacy groups in cities including Manchester, Sheffield, Liverpool, Leicester, Wolverhampton, and London. There are many reasons that people start selling sex, from the desire to secure financial independence to exploitation by criminal gangs. But there is also a more straightforward explanation. With inflation at 11%, the country appears to be entering a prolonged recession, cementing a cost of living crisis that has households braced for severe hardship. At a time when more women appear to be selling sex, this economic outlook is also reducing demand. That is going to be a problem, right? I told you the two things put together. You have an increasing supply because of the economics, and a reduced demand because there's not enough guys with money to actually buy these chicks. So something's going to give, right? Creating a more dangerous environment for those working in the sector as they take more risks to make ends meet. They got to go out there and hustle more. This is something felt by those who work indoors from home or hotels with often wealthier customers, as well as women who solicit on the street. There's going to be a lot more people on the street, a lot more women on the street. The increase in women turning to sex work is adding a new urgency to the political debate in the UK over how it is policed. San Francisco is thinking about having a red light district. More on that story later. Campaigners say it is more important than ever to review laws that govern the industry. Although there is a split between those who want to fully decriminalize it and those who want to outlaw the buying of sex, they all argue that sex work is a part of society that cannot be quietly ignored. The ONS estimates it contributed $4.7 billion to GDP in 2021, while 1 in 10 men in Britain say they have paid for sex, 10%. As the price goes down, I think there's going to be more men to actually pay for it. Tiffany dabbled in sex work 6 years ago to pay off a credit card bill. When she was later made redundant from the civil service, she lived off her husband's tradesman income until pandemic lockdown shut his workshop. Severe deterioration of his mental health this year means he is unable to work. Tiffany, who is in her 30s, is a full-time carer. Soaring energy and food bills combined with debt repayments outgrew the couple's benefit payments, she says. With interest rates rising, Tiffany is anxious about their fixed-term mortgage deal coming to an end. By September, Tiffany felt sex work was the only way she could earn enough to cover costs while maintaining flexibility in her caring responsibilities. She earns about £1,000 per week, which she says has declared to HMRC, so the couple's universal credit payments are due to stop. Sex work is not anyone's dream job, she says, adding, "I'm happy doing it to support us financially, and then I'll stop." 5 of the 23 sex workers interviewed say they returned to the sector in 2022 after years away from it, and that rising living costs wholly or partly influenced their move. It is widely accepted that most sex workers are women, although male sex work has risen in recent years with the rise of casual selling on platforms such as Grindr and Instagram. Men sell sex on Instagram. An FT analysis of all 21,000 UK escorts profiles on the prominent site AdultWork.com suggests 3 times as many people joined this year as in 2019. Wow, 3 times. It is unclear if this reflects existing sex workers shifting to online advertising or an increase in the overall numbers estimated in 2015, in a 2015 study to be around 73,000. Skipping down, the English collective of prostitutes, which works mostly with brothel and street workers, says more women than usual are seeking advice on starting or restarting work, many of whom are mothers with office or retail jobs but need extra money to pay bills or buy school uniforms. The Sheffield Working Women's Opportunities Project similarly says its outreach vehicle and drop-in clinic were accessed 369 times from July to September this year, from 198 times in the same quarter in 2019. While those involved in sex work represent a cross-section of society and circumstances, many of the women accessing the Sheffield service struggle with substance abuse or homelessness. Some are funding their habits out of their partners as well as their own. It's a very long article. I'm not going to read anything. I'm going to read too much more. Okay. I think calls to decriminalize. Several campaign groups say the solution is to abandon laws that they believe make consensual sex work more dangerous. In the UK, the exchange of sex for money is not illegal, but most of the practices that surround the entry are street soliciting, both by the buyer and seller, brothel keeping and causing or inciting prostitution for gain, such as renting your property to multiple sex workers for providing them with advice. Okay, they're going to have to do something. I'll put the link to the article in the description. It's really long. It's good, though. It is a good article. But it's just showing that these economic strife is actually going to cause sex work to actually increase. And the cops and the cities probably already are looking the other way, especially since COVID, man. Since COVID, cops are not really wanting to make unnecessary contact with people if they don't have to. And with all these sex workers out on the street, being with random dudes and not always healthy, yeah, I can see a lot of cops drawing back. And I can see a lot of big cities like LA, New York, and San Francisco, allowing this to go on because these are high-cost cities and these governments, these city governments can't handle the stress, can't keep these people housed, can't keep these people fed. So they're going to have to turn a blind eye to people making money, especially women. Here's what it is. The era of the coffee girl is upon us. Like I said, you have two factors, right? You're going to push more women onto the streets selling sex, and basically you're going to have a lot less buyers because the men get affected by the economic crisis just like women do. And black men and black women are at the bottom. So guess what's going to happen? Well, a lot of chicks are going to have to hit the streets, and the price is going to have to come down. Well, we'll see. Anyway, brothers, with that, I'm out of here. It's BGS out. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.